Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that an entire town has disappeared. Houses stand quiet. Meals are left on tables. Lights are still on, but every single person, men, women, and children are gone, without a trace. This isn't the plot of a horror film. This is the story of Ravenwood, a small town that, according to records, simply vanished overnight. Tonight, we'll dive into the chilling case of the town that vanished overnight. A place that was once full of life, now reduced to nothing but unanswered questions. Ravenwood wasn't always a mystery. Located in a quiet valley, far from major highways, it was known as a peaceful, tight-knit community. Around 320 people lived there: farmers, teachers, families, and workers who preferred small-town life. The town had everything it needed: a school, a diner that served the best blueberry pie, a church that rang its bell every Sunday, and a single police station that rarely saw any crime beyond a drunk fight at the bar. To outsiders, Ravenwood was forgettable, just another dot on the map. But for those who lived there, it was home. Until, one day, single quotes to dot it all began on a chilly morning in October, when a delivery truck driver passed through Ravenwood. He noticed something strange. The streets were empty. Not just quiet, but lifeless. At first, he thought it was too early. Maybe people were still asleep. But as he drove past the diner, he saw something that froze him in his tracks. Plates of food sat on tables, coffee still steaming. But no customers. No staff. No one at all. Panicked, he rushed to the police station. The door was unlocked. Inside, paperwork lay scattered. Phones rang unanswered, and half-finished cups of coffee sat on desks. But every officer was gone. By noon, state authorities were alerted. When investigators arrived, they confirmed what the driver had seen. Ravenwood was completely deserted. The deeper they searched, the stranger it became. At the school, children's backpacks were left on desks. At the gas station, cars were parked with keys still in the ignition. At one home, investigators found dinner half-eaten, as if the family simply stood up and walked away mid-meal. But there were no signs of struggle. No broken glass, no forced doors, no blood. It was as though the townspeople had collectively decided to leave, instantly and silently. Phones stopped working. Letters in the post office were undelivered. The last dated newspaper was from the night before the disappearance. Dogs and pets were left behind, some starving, but alive. It was only the humans who had vanished. When word spread, Ravenwood became a media sensation. News vans, journalists, and conspiracy theorists swarmed the empty streets. Cameras captured the eerie stillness. Swings swaying in playgrounds, televisions buzzing static inside homes. And calendars frozen on October 13th, the last known day the town was alive. The government launched a full investigation. The FBI combed through every building, every basement, every attic. Military units even scanned the area for radiation or chemical leaks. But there was nothing unusual. No mass graves. No migration records. No sign of where 320 people could have possibly gone. Even more puzzling, there were no footprints leading out of town. No tire tracks on the dirt roads. No bodies, no belongings packed. Nothing. It was as if Ravenwood had been erased. This is where the story turns darker. With no evidence, theories started pouring in, each one stranger than the last. Mass abduction. Some believed the townspeople were victims of a mass abduction taken by a cult, or worse, by something extraterrestrial. Eyewitnesses from nearby areas reported seeing strange lights in the sky the night before Ravenwood went silent. Government experiment? Others claimed Ravenwood was part of a secret government experiment testing chemical weapons, psychological warfare, or even time manipulation. Could the entire town have been wiped out in an experiment gone wrong? The curse of Ravenwood. Local legends suggested that the land itself was cursed. Long before the town was built, the valley was a sacred site for indigenous tribes. Rumors claimed the town's founder ignored warnings, building on ground meant to stay untouched. Was Ravenwood doomed from the very beginning? Mass panic or migration? The most rational theory? That the town fled. Maybe a disaster like contamination, disease, or a coming attack forced everyone to leave quickly. But if that were true, why was nothing taken? And where did they all go? Weeks into the investigation, a chilling discovery was made. In the basement of the church, officials found a journal belonging to the pastor. The final entry read, October 12th. The bells tolled at midnight when no hand pulled the rope. The sound echoed across the valley. People are afraid. They say something is coming. Something we cannot stop. That was the last written word from Ravenwood. Even stranger, surveillance footage from a local store was recovered. The last recording showed a group of townspeople standing silently in the street, all facing the same direction, staring at something just beyond the edge of the camera frame. Seconds later, the footage cut out. Eventually, the search was called off. Families of the missing were left with no answers. The government declared Ravenwood abandoned due to unknown circumstances and sealed off the area. But that didn't stop thrill seekers, paranormal investigators, and conspiracy hunters from sneaking in. Many claimed to hear voices at night, whispers in the empty streets, and the sound of the church bell tolling, even though the rope was long gone. To this day, Ravenwood remains untouched, a ghost town frozen in time. Was Ravenwood the victim of an unspeakable tragedy? A failed experiment? A curse? Or did something far beyond our understanding reach down and erase an entire town from existence? We may never know. But one thing is certain. Ravenwood is a reminder that sometimes whole pieces of our world can vanish, leaving only questions behind.